Anna, what's going on? How can I help?
What is an appropriate way to end relationships, specifically friendships, that detract from your personal or professional growth? So it's a broad topic.
Yeah, it's funny. I was just talking to some buddies the other day. Like, we don't have like grown up, like you don't have breakups with your regular friends, right? You only have breakups with romantic friends. We don't have like a cultural system for saying like, I don't want to be your friend anymore, so please never call. We don't have that, right? We just quit returning their calls, basically.
Exactly, and I don't want to do that.
Okay, so you have something going on. So tell me what's actually happening in your world. Like, put a context for this.
Yep. So I've got like lots of beautiful people in my life, and even the ones I'm trying to end relationships with, they're also great people. But they've there's a couple of them who've put me on this pedestal almost, and have become very obsessive and demand a lot of my attention and time.
Okay.
And I've tried setting boundaries. They're not respected. And so I want to figure out how to end it.
Give me an example of you set a boundary and they didn't respect it. What does that look like?
Okay. So I took my medical boards a couple months ago.
Did you pass?
After I took it, I passed.
Yeah, dude, way to go. All of America just cheered. We only have like 32 listeners, but we're all cheering for you. That's so good.
Awesome.
And these are your boards for med school?
Huh?
These are your med school? Oh, congratulations. Yep. That's so cool. Way to go.
Right. And as you understand, they were incredibly exhausting. Like, you're in a hole for months studying. And afterwards, I had told everybody, like, hey, I'm going to lay in my bed for like 3 days. Not going to respond to anybody.
Right. Well deserved.
And like, one of the people was just so happened to be 30 minutes away from her home in my neighborhood and just like showed up. So things like that. And it's like, I made it clear I need alone time in my bed.
Yeah. So is that enough that you want to end relationships, or are you about to move across country? Like, when you say I want to end this thing, what does that mean? You want them to never call you again?
I guess not, but I don't know how to set the boundaries. Like, I would be there for anybody if, even if like some stranger broke down on the side of the road, and they're like, hey, you help, and I would.
Of course. But hey, it's way, way easier to help strangers than it is to help people that we're in a relationship with, right?
Right. And they are good people, because if they were a jerk, it'd be easy to end. Right. But it's like, if I give them an inch, they keep trying to take a mile, and it's just exhausting even telling them no all the time. And when they ask a lot, it's like eventually you say yes, and then you're just drained.
They wear you down. What kind of doctor are you going to be?
So I want to go into endocrinology. Okay. So that's the path for now.
And for those who don't know what that is, give them a 30-second primer on endocrinology.
So I want to... So it's like a little bit unconventional, but I want to help people. So I was a personal trainer and nutritionist prior. So I want to help people with lifestyle changes to balance hormones, but overall give hormones as needed to get people into balance and then change behaviors.
Excellent. So there's two things at play here. Number one, I think there's a part of you that loves being the go-to person in your community. And I know that because I'm the same way. And it's exhausting too. Is that fair?
Yes.
And so it is super cool to have people reach out, ask questions. My guess is you've always been the smart one in your crew. You've always been the fun one that will do crazy things. You've been in med school. You've been everybody's token med school friend, right? And that also comes with a cost, because they call you at all hours of the night. Hey, will you look at this weird mole? What do you think about this? Is COVID real?
Yeah.
Like, you do that all the time, right?
Exactly.
And so it's exhausting also. And it's especially exhausting when people think they have a friend who's a doctor or a mental health person or a finance person. Their emergencies always has to be your emergency, right? And so they call all the time. What is it about you that won't just turn your phone off? Like, you make this announcement, I want a 3-day sabbatical from Earth. Why didn't you just turn your phone off and not answer the door?
Yeah, that's a good question.
It's
I tell people like,
it's because
hey,
I know
I'm not gonna.
it's because you kind of liked it, and you want to be connected, but you want to be connected on your terms, and those aren't real boundaries. Those are pretend boundaries, right? Or I call them indignant boundaries. It's where I will go by. I'll come up with some terrible analogy here. They're just indignant boundaries, right? They're screen doors. They're not walls. And then I want to be able to see out there and make sure everybody's doing good, make sure I'm still important. But when you call, I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you, right? And so I would say when you put up a boundary, you have ownership there. It's your responsibility to draw that line A and then hold that line, because people are going to test and see if that boundary holds firm or not. And if this is cool that you're learning this on the front end of what's about to be a long journey to become a licensed medical doctor, because it's going to just get crazier for you. You're going to be this way for everyone in your community. You're going to have friends of friends who call you, right? This is just going to be your life. And so when you set a boundary, then you are then responsible for making sure that wall's firm, right? It really bugged my buddies when I would start turning my phone off on the weekends. It bugged me more. And then quickly, everybody kind of just learned, right? And now I'm not so militant about it. And I'm kind of sad that my friends don't call me on the weekends. But I set that boundary. That's me, right? I set it up.
Right.
So that's number one. It's super annoying that you put that out into the universe. I don't want anyone to check on me. But my guess is you've set up boundaries like that before, and then people show up and you're like, oh, come on in. And you have coffee and ice cream together and you all hang out and have some laughs. They leave and then you get indignant about it. So I would say you put it out, they violated your boundary, but you opened the door. They showed back up. So if you want to have those boundaries, draw them. Here's the second thing. You are entering into a profession where the crux of your success in this profession is not going to be academic. There's a lot of smart people. It's not going to be the information you quote unquote have in your head. It's going to be how you communicate hard truths to people in a vulnerable and exposed way, and let them hear and listen to you, not be devastated by you, and then know you love them, but then they've got to go make behavioral and life changes, right?
Right.
This will be you'll be most successful in this if you can have some congruence, which is the nerd Rogerian word for I'm the same person at home as I am at work, as I am at the store, as I am at church. The more you can be the same person, the better, right? And you know where I'm going here. The more you can sit down with one of your friends who you love and say, hey, look, I'm taking a 3-day sabbatical from life. For sure, don't call me. I'm going to turn my phone off. I love you. Or if they show up and bang and ring the doorbell, you meet them at the door and you say, hey, I love you, but this is some sacred time for me and I can't hang out. And I know it's going to be super frustrating, but I don't want to. So I'll give you a call in 2 days after my sabbatical with life is over. And you shut the door in a gentle, compassionate, loving way. And then if they sit there and honk their horn and they air horn out your window, that's when you call the police on them and say, I have a crazy person in my front yard, right? But all that to say is learning how to have these compassionate but direct, loving but hard conversations, which don't have to be a production. They don't have to be a show. They are just simply, here's my boundary. Here's my truth. And you are not, I don't like that phrase, my truth, because we weaponize that, but here's my boundary. And you're not, I've asked you 2 or 3 times to not text me after 10 o'clock. And I turn my phone off and you keep texting, you keep calling, you keep knocking on my door. Why do you keep violating my boundaries, right? That's going to be an easier version of 5 years from now when you sit down and say, hey, you have thyroid cancer and we're going to take this out and you're going to have some exogenous hormones for a season and you're going to have to really change your diet or you're going to die, right? That's just a precursor to that conversation. So let's practice really quick. So give me a new boundary in your life.
Okay, I'm a new boundary in my life. Yeah, I will not answer the phone. I'm going to say after 7 p.m. because I go to bed early.
Dude, you just made my heart feel good. Doctors that get a full night of sleep change lives, everybody. So, okay, cool. So I'm just going to knock on your door. Hey, Anna, what's up? Let's go party. There's some super cute fill in the blank at fill in the blank, and the show starts at 9. You're coming.
And then do I not open the door?
I don't know. You're the grown up here. You're the one who's about to be a doctor. You tell me.
Yeah, if I hear them talking about party, so I open the door. Hey, sorry. I told you I'm turning my phone off at 7. I don't want to leave.
Let's back up. No need to apologize. You've already stated it.
True.
Right? They should apologize to you for violating your boundary.
True. So, hey, I asked you not to call after 7. Why did you come here?
So I would tell you that the door isn't the place for the why conversation, because they're going to be all gussied up like, ah! Just don't answer the door.
Don't answer the door.
Yeah.
Nobody's home.
Yeah. And then since your phone's off and you've got your white noise machine on, you're not going to hear it anyway. And it's this, I can hear it in you. You have this compulsion to make sure the people around you are okay. That's not your job. Your job is to make sure you're well and taken care of. Because you deserve it.
Everybody does.
Exactly. But all of us who are helpers like to make sure everybody else is okay, because that's where we get our value and esteem from. Everyone else is okay. And then we get super annoyed when they don't have the same respect of our lives and our boundaries. And then it was a big shock to me to realize, oh, I'm in charge of that. I'm in charge of my boundaries, of my wellness, of my taking care of me. And that's super annoying because that's hard. Real hard and real annoying. So what do? You make firm boundaries and then you hold them. And then know that the people in your world are going to try to lean up against them. Are they real? Are they going to hold? Are they real? Are they real? They're real. They're going to hold. And number 2, if they violate them, you have a direct, non-apologetic, I asked you not to come over and you rang my doorbell till 10 o'clock last night. Please don't ever do that again. I was exhausted. I'm going to school. I'm taking a break. Oh my gosh, we just wanted to play. I'm so sorry, man. It's cool. I hear you. Please, if I tell you I'm going to be out, I'm going to be out. Okay, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Come on, dude, we're just going to go to the show. I don't want to go to the show. I need some sleep. So thank you so much. We'll go to the show next time. I'll let you know when I'm ready to go back to the show. And it's with a period at the end of it. And then either they're going to bang their head up against your boundary a few times and realize they don't like you anymore, which is super cool, problem solved, or they're going to honor your boundaries. And you're just going to be that weird friend that goes to bed early. I'm that guy in my friend circle. And they're going to continue to reach out. Or they're going to send you a text and be like, hey, if you want to, we're all going to fill in the blank. And then you get to decide. And I love those because then I get to decide, and I go sometimes, I don't go sometimes. And I don't lie, I don't make up, like, I'm just not going to go. Thank you. Or I'll be there, see you there. You get to decide those boundaries and practice having those hard, direct conversations because they're the rest of your life, Anna. And I'm so glad that someone with your heart is out there changing lives, especially being a doctor who's interested in lifestyle change. You just made my whole heart swell bigger and bigger than I thought it could.